Here's Ellen Page part 2. Skip forward about a minute there because she's just going around this same group of talking points, and we're going to move up now.
And instead, it's like we have a media that's barely talking about it.
Every news site, every news outlet, everyone is talking about it all the time. And it's all related to Trump and how horrible he is, and that's the relation. Just go to any site, look it up, that's what you'll see. Go to CNN, MSNBC, CNBC, whatever, it doesn't matter.
We have a media that's saying it's a debate whether or not what just happened to Jussie Smollett is a hate crime.
That's no longer a debate. That is essentially not a hate crime. Either he was assaulted by two people who knew him, meaning it's just assault and battery because they hated him, or he paid them and it's a complete false report and there was no attack. And that's the whole point of debate for Ellen Page is if something comes out and doesn't look true, you should wait for facts. You shouldn't just jump on it and move forward.
It's absurd. This isn't a debate.
I agree.
And there goes Colbert backing down completely, acquiescing to her point, even though the Smollett point is now 2 weeks later completely false. However, it's just you can't accept that you have to wait for studies, for investigations to happen.
Sorry,
Not at all.
I'm like really fired up tonight,
This is how you have to be fired
it feels impossible to not feel this way right
be
now
fired up,
with
yeah.
the president and the vice president, Mike Pence.
Always turn it back to Trump. Always, if you're gonna be in Hollywood and you're gonna be outraged and you're gonna spin it, it has to go back to Trump and Pence.
Who like wishes I couldn't be married. Let's just be clear.
Marriage used to be a thing inside of churches, and civil unions were the thing. This was with the Democratic Party, with all parties, up until essentially the conservatives, Christians just let it go.
The Vice President of America wishes I didn't have the love with my wife.
The former president, Barack Obama, had campaigned against marriage for gays and lesbians. So did Hillary Clinton. So did every other person currently in Congress, I believe, up until just a few years ago.
He wanted to ban that in Indiana. He believes in conversion therapy.
Right now, there's an interesting thing going on with the dating apps where they're trying to find ways to introduce women to other women, even though they say they're straight, to put men in with men and to roll the transgender community in on one side or the other. Quasi the conversion therapy for straight people. Yeah, boo him.
He has
boo
hurt
that.
LGBTQ people so badly as the government of Indiana, and I think the thing we need to know,
Now, what cases did he do that in? There's almost nothing. He didn't support church weddings for gays and lesbians, which most churches don't support.
I hope my show Gaycation did this in terms of connecting the dots, in terms of what happened the other day to Jussie. I don't know him personally. I sent all of my love
to someone who paid people to attack him or was attacked by other people. Now, if he was attacked by those two people and it's unwarranted, they just didn't like him and attacked him, that is horrible for Jussie. However, if he paid them to fake the whole thing to create his own hate crime, that is kind of the spiraling thing we're seeing this whole year.
Connect the dots. This is what happens.
Connect the dots. This is what happens when you blame the president and the vice president for everything that happens. They are not responsible. There are so few people that are aggressively like this in this country, and you have people like her up there screaming that that's how everyone who agrees with them is.
If you are in a position of power and you hate people and you want to cause suffering to them,
what suffering?
You go through the trouble. You spend your career trying to cause suffering. What do you think is going to happen? Kids are going to be abused and they're going to kill themselves. And people are going to be beaten on the street. have traveled the world and I have met the most marginalized people you could meet.
And I'm assuming most of those marginalized people aren't in the West.
I am lucky to have this time and the privilege to say this. This needs to stop.
All right, so she's referring to something that was faked and didn't happen, and it needs to stop. Yes, stop fake. Stop reporting things that don't happen. Applause for that. Again, Colbert's audience agrees with me. Stop doing it.
I do want to add. I do want to add. I do want to add that I do want to add that the new Netflix series, The Umbrella Academy.
All right, so her entire thing, and I'm going back to the full 9 minutes, was one, marginalized people are affected by environmental concerns more than other people because they're marginalized, which there's almost no proof of that other than landfills around an area of Canada that she says affects the people outside of those communities. So in wealthier communities, they have fewer landfills than they do in poor communities. That would make perfect sense to me and to almost anyone else, because the communities with the landfill would receive tax revenue for the landfill usage. We see it all over the place. Small towns will have landfills, and they take the trash in from bigger towns to help fund the town. That's a very interesting fact of reality. If you guys didn't know that, it happens all the time. Two, that because Pence didn't want gays to be married, that he hates gay people, and conversion therapy being supported by straight people and now by people trying to introduce gays and lesbians into straight dating apps and transgenders, that is a problem when apparently it's both ways right now. That the Jussie Smollett attack, this is just a few days after it happened, and if she had gotten into any of the local news, she would have noticed that there were a lot of holes in the story, and it is now proven that it is not a hate crime, that it was either two gentlemen who knew Jussie Smollett, attacked him because they knew him and didn't like him, or because he paid them to. So that's very strange there. And hateful leadership. So the whole thing is Ellen Page doesn't understand how economy works, how poor communities can earn tax revenue by having landfills, how no big high politicians, Obama, Hillary, Trump, well, Trump actually, I believe he was always in favor of gay marriage, Pence, none of those people supported gay marriage. They supported civil unions, and when it all fell apart, they just all went along with it, and the small attack was fake, and that California is extremely sexist, homophobic, and transphobic against people in the industry of Hollywood in general, and that 3.8% of people being represented, or 0.058 with the transgender community, that they need more representation. And I would like to say that, watch Umbrella Academy. It's a good show.
It's a great show.
Don't let the rest of it fall to you, because we should just look at actors as actors and actresses and not as our social leaders, because let's face it, they're going for a very simple agenda, and just enjoy entertainment for what entertainment is. If you're offended by the people that are the primary roles, such as maybe you just hate Ellen Page and don't want to support anything she's in, well, then don't watch Umbrella Academy. If you're like me and you can take her public persona out of it, you can take the fact that she's, a decent actress, and you like science fiction, then watch it. Like I said, I'm several episodes into the Umbrella Academy, and I'm really enjoying the show. So thank you all. Hope you have a great day. Goodbye.